Ladies and gentlemen, there is a story that echoes through the hearts of many, yet few dare to tell it. It's the story of the woman who chose herself. She didn't arrive at this choice in a moment of ease. No, this decision was forged in the fire of frustration and refined by the tears of rejection. She woke up one day and realized that the life she was living, the role she was playing, the dreams she was deferring were never truly hers. The woman who chooses herself embarks on a journey that begins with breaking free from the expectations that have long weighed her down. These expectations often come from the people she loves the most: family, friends, partners, and from society at large. They are the unspoken rules, the whispered judgments, and the glaring looks that tell her who she should be, how she should act, and what she should want. For years, perhaps decades, she tried to live up to those standards. She played the roles they assigned to her, nodded when she wanted to speak, and smiled when she wanted to cry. But deep inside, there was a growing restlessness, a voice that said, "This is not who you are." Breaking free doesn't happen all at once. It starts with small realizations, moments when she begins to question why she does the things she does. Why does she say yes when she means no? Why does she pursue goals that don't ignite her soul? Why does she stay silent when every fiber of her being is screaming for her to speak? These questions become the seeds of change, pushing her to confront the uncomfortable truth that much of her life has been shaped by other people's expectations rather than her own desires. But even as she starts to awaken to this reality, breaking free is no easy feat. Expectations are like invisible chains forged over years of conditioning. They are reinforced by traditions, cultural norms, and the fear of disappointing those she holds dear. There's the expectation to be the perfect daughter, sacrificing her dreams for the sake of her family. The expectation to be the ideal partner, always supportive, never demanding. The expectation to conform to societal standards of beauty, success, and behavior. These pressures can feel suffocating, making her doubt whether freedom is even possible. And yet she presses on. She begins to realize that these expectations, while deeply ingrained, are not immutable laws. They are constructs created by others, and therefore they can be dismantled. She starts setting boundaries, a radical act for someone who has spent her life trying to please others. She learns to say no without guilt, understanding that her worth is not tied to how much she can give or how well she can conform. She reclaims her time and energy, investing them in pursuits that bring her joy and fulfillment. This process is not without resistance. When she begins to break the mold, there are those who will push back, accusing her of being selfish, ungrateful, or rebellious. Their words sting, but they also reveal an important truth: their discomfort is not her responsibility. It is not her job to make others comfortable at the expense of her own happiness. This realization becomes her strength, allowing her to let go of the need for external validation. As she breaks free, she discovers something profound: the power of choice. For the first time, she is living on her terms, guided by her own values, dreams, and passions. The expectations of others no longer define her; she defines herself. This is the essence of choosing herself, a journey of liberation, authenticity, and unshakable courage. The power of self-acceptance lies at the heart of transformation, a profound shift in how a woman views herself and her place in the world. It is a journey inward, a confrontation with the mirror that reflects not just her physical self, but the entirety of who she is: her dreams, her flaws, her fears, and her strengths. For years, she may have lived under the weight of perfectionism, striving to meet impossible standards, whether set by others or herself. She learned to hide the parts of her she deemed unworthy, covering her insecurities with smiles, achievements, or silence. But the truth is, self-acceptance isn't about perfection, it's about embracing imperfection. This shift doesn't happen overnight. At first, it feels like stepping into uncharted territory, unfamiliar and vulnerable. She has to unlearn the lie that her worth is conditional, that she is only valuable if she's flawless, successful, or endlessly giving to others. She begins to see that self-acceptance doesn't mean settling or resigning herself to mediocrity. Instead, it's about honoring her humanity, recognizing that her scars and struggles are as much a part of her as her victories and virtues. As she leans into self-acceptance, she begins to silence the inner critic that has long dictated her choices. That voice, sharp and unrelenting, once told her she wasn't good enough, pretty enough, smart enough. It compared her to others, magnifying her shortcomings while dismissing her strengths. But now she counters that voice with compassion. She starts to speak to herself as she would to a dear friend, offering kindness and understanding instead of judgment. She learns to forgive herself for past mistakes, seeing them not as failures but as stepping stones on her path to growth. Self-acceptance empowers her to show up authentically in the world. She no longer feels the need to wear masks or play roles to fit in or be loved. She realizes that her true beauty lies in her uniqueness, in the quirks and qualities that set her apart. This authenticity brings a sense of freedom to express herself fully, to pursue what truly matters to her, and to let go of the need for approval from others. Through self-acceptance, she also discovers resilience. She understands that life's challenges don't define her worth, and neither do her moments of doubt or struggle. She is no longer afraid to face her fears or acknowledge her limitations, because she knows they do not diminish her value. Instead, they make her human, and in that humanity she finds strength. As she grows in self-acceptance, she notices how it transforms her relationships. By accepting herself, she creates space for others to do the same. She sets boundaries with grace, knowing that self-respect is a prerequisite for healthy connections. She becomes a source of inspiration, showing others the power of living authentically and loving oneself without conditions. Self-acceptance becomes the foundation of her life, a quiet but unshakable force that allows her to thrive in a world that often demands conformity. The courage to walk alone is not born from choice, but often from necessity. It emerges in the moments when a woman realizes that the path she must take is one that others cannot or will not walk with her. This realization can be both liberating and terrifying. She finds herself at a crossroads, faced with the decision to stay in the comfort of what she knows or to step into the unknown, where her growth and purpose await. It is here that she must summon a strength she may not yet know she possesses, the strength to walk alone. Walking alone does not mean loneliness, though it often begins with a season of isolation. She may lose relationships, face criticism, or feel misunderstood as she chooses a direction that others do not agree with or comprehend. Friends may distance themselves, family may question her decisions, and society may label her as rebellious or misguided. These moments can feel like deep wounds, but they are also where her courage begins to grow. Each step she takes in solitude becomes a testament to her resolve, a declaration that her purpose is worth more than the approval of others. It takes bravery to face the silence. Without the noise of external opinion, she must confront her own doubts and fears. There is no one to affirm her choices or guide her decisions. She must become her own compass, learning to trust her instincts and listen to the voice within her heart. This inner dialogue can be challenging as she wrestles with uncertainty and the weight of her own expectations. But it is in this stillness that she discovers her resilience, realizing that she is more capable and self-reliant than she ever imagined. As she walks alone, she begins to see the world differently. The distractions and influences that once clouded her vision fade away, and she gains clarity about what truly matters to her. She learns to prioritize her own values and aspirations, unapologetically pursuing the life she was meant to live. Her solitude becomes a sanctuary, a space where she can reflect, heal, and grow without interference. It is here that she reconnects with her true self, shedding the layers of who she was told to be and stepping fully into who she is. This journey requires her to make peace with discomfort. There will be moments of doubt when she wonders if the sacrifice is worth it, if the loneliness will ever ease. But these moments are also where her courage shines brightest. She understands that walking alone is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of strength. It is the willingness to take a stand for herself, to believe in her dreams, even when no one else does. With each step, she builds a foundation of confidence that cannot be shaken by the opinions or judgments of others. In time, she finds that walking alone is not an end, but a beginning. It is the start of a deeper connection with herself, a reclaiming of her voice and her power. She realizes that the courage to walk alone is not just about stepping away from others, it is about stepping into her own destiny fully and fearlessly. Reclaiming voice and vision is a powerful act of self-restoration, an awakening to the truth of who a woman is and what she was meant to become. For too long, her voice may have been silenced, muffled by the weight of others' opinions, societal expectations, and the fear of rejection. Her vision, the dreams, desires, and ambitions that once burned brightly within her may have been dimmed by discouragement, self-doubt, or the relentless demands of daily life. But there comes a moment when she decides to reclaim what was always hers, to take back the power to speak her truth and pursue her purpose. Finding her voice again requires a willingness to confront the forces that silenced her. It is a process of peeling back the layers of fear and shame that have kept her quiet. She begins to recognize the moments when she chose silence over confrontation, when she allowed others to dictate her story, and when she hesitated to share her thoughts because she feared they weren't valid. These realizations can be painful, but they are also liberating. They remind her that her voice was never truly lost. It was only waiting for her to uncover it. As she begins to speak her truth, her words take on a new power. She no longer feels the need to shrink herself to fit into spaces that were never designed for her. Her voice becomes a tool for setting boundaries, expressing her needs, and standing up for what she believes in. It is not always easy. There will be those who resist her newfound confidence, who prefer her in the quiet, compliant role she once played. But she understands now that her voice is not for their comfort, it is for her freedom. At the same time, she begins to reclaim her vision. She allows herself to dream again, to imagine a future that aligns with her deepest passions and values. For years, her vision may have been clouded by practicality, the expectations of others, or the belief that her dreams were too big or unrealistic. But as she reconnects with her voice, she realizes that her vision is a reflection of her authentic self, a map to the life she was meant to live. She starts to set goals that excite her, to take risks that once seemed impossible, and to pursue opportunities that align with her purpose. Reclaiming vision also means letting go of comparison. She stops measuring her worth against the accomplishments or opinions of others. Instead, she focuses on her own path, trusting that her journey is unique and valuable. She learns to celebrate her progress, no matter how small, and to embrace the process of growth and discovery. Her vision becomes a source of inspiration, guiding her forward even in the face of challenges. As she reclaims her voice and vision, she begins to inspire others to do the same. Her courage to speak and dream boldly becomes a ripple effect, encouraging those around her to break free from their own limitations. She becomes a living example of what is possible when a woman takes back the power to define her life on her terms. Through her voice and vision, she transforms not only her own life but the lives of everyone who witnesses her journey. Transforming pain into power is a journey of resilience and redemption, a testament to the human spirit's capacity to rise above even the most harrowing experiences. Pain, in its many forms, heartbreak, loss, rejection, betrayal, has the potential to shatter a person's sense of self. But for the woman who chooses to face her pain rather than run from it, it becomes a catalyst for growth, a force that reshapes her into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. At first, the pain may seem insurmountable. It grips her, overwhelming her thoughts and emotions, making it difficult to see beyond the immediate hurt. She might feel lost, questioning why she had to endure such hardship, why life seems so unfair. The temptation to numb the pain, to bury it beneath distractions or denial, is strong. But she begins to realize that the only way out is through. She understands that by confronting her pain, by allowing herself to feel and process it, she can begin to heal. This process is not linear, it is messy and unpredictable. Some days she feels as though she's making progress, while on others the weight of her pain pulls her back down. But through it all, she learns to be patient with herself. She acknowledges her emotions without judgment, giving herself permission to grieve, to be angry, to feel broken. She knows that these feelings are not signs of weakness, but of humanity. In embracing her pain, she begins to take its power away. It no longer controls her, but instead becomes something she can work with. As she moves through her healing journey, she starts to uncover lessons within her pain. It teaches her about her strength, her values, and her priorities. She begins to see how her struggles have shaped her character, revealing resilience she didn't know she had. What once seemed like an unbearable burden becomes a source of insight and perspective. She starts to use her pain as fuel, channeling it into creative expression, personal growth, or meaningful work. Her experiences give her a depth of understanding and empathy that she can now offer to others who are struggling. In time, she transforms her pain into power by reclaiming her narrative. She refuses to let her hardships define her. Instead, she chooses to define herself by how she overcame them. She becomes a survivor, not a victim, and her story becomes one of triumph rather than tragedy. She begins to see her pain not as something that broke her, but as something that built her. It gave her the tools she needed to face future challenges with courage and confidence. The power she gains from this transformation is not just for herself, it radiates outward, touching the lives of those around her. Her strength inspires others to confront their own pain and to believe that healing is possible. In sharing her journey, she becomes a beacon of hope, showing that even the deepest wounds can lead to the greatest growth. Through her pain, she has found her power, and through her power, she has found her purpose. Inspiring others begins with the courage to live authentically, to walk in one's truth, even when the path is uncertain or unconventional. A woman who chooses herself and embraces her journey of self-discovery and empowerment naturally becomes a source of light for those around her. She doesn't set out with the intention of inspiring others, rather, her transformation is so genuine and profound that it becomes a ripple effect, touching the lives of those who witness her growth. Her strength and determination serve as a silent but powerful message. People see her rise above adversity, overcome self-doubt, and reclaim her voice, and they begin to wonder if they too can do the same. Her actions speak louder than words, showing that change is possible, even in the face of fear, criticism, or uncertainty. By simply being herself unapologetically and fully, she gives others permission to do the same. Her life becomes a living testament to the power of choice, resilience, and self-belief. What makes her inspiring is not perfection but authenticity. She doesn't pretend to have all the answers or to be without flaws. Instead, she openly shares her struggles, her setbacks, and her moments of doubt. This vulnerability makes her relatable, breaking down the walls that often separate people. She shows that strength is not the absence of fear or failure, but the willingness to keep moving forward despite them. Her honesty creates a connection that words alone could never achieve, reminding others that they are not alone in their struggles. As she grows, she starts to use her experiences to uplift and empower those around her. She shares her story, not to boast, but to let others know that transformation is possible. Whether through conversations, creative expression, or acts of service, she finds ways to use her journey as a source of hope and encouragement. Her story becomes a mirror, reflecting back the potential that others have within themselves. She reminds them that they, too, have the strength to overcome their challenges and to create a life that aligns with their dreams. Her influence extends beyond her immediate circle. The way she carries herself, her confidence, her kindness, her determination has a ripple effect that reaches far and wide. People who may never speak to her or know her personally are impacted by her example. They see her breaking free from limitations, pursuing her vision, and standing firm in her truth, and they are inspired to reevaluate their own lives and choices. Inspiring others is not about grand gestures or dramatic transformations. It's about the quiet power of consistency and authenticity. It's about showing up every day as the truest version of oneself, even when it's difficult. It's about living in a way that reflects courage, compassion, and purpose, so that others are moved to find those qualities within themselves. Through her journey, she becomes a catalyst for change, igniting sparks of possibility in everyone she encounters. Her life reminds others that inspiration is not found in perfection, but in the willingness to embrace one's unique path and walk it boldly.